The Babylonians are also easy. The god King Hammurabi laid down the law in Babylon. Outsiders must learn to obey. The Babylonians are scholarly. They are easy to play. They are scholarly. Knowledge technologies cost 25% less. Wealth technologies cost 25% less. Flags cost 1 food more. Units cost 20% more. Expanding is going to be expensive. Building armies is going to be prohibitively expensive. Let's play on Scholar, as I tend to. And let's check victory conditions first and foremost. I play to 7 to begin with. The statue of Zeus is over here, power up to 18. The Hanging Gardens, wealth up to 600. The Colossus, 7 armies or fleets, mostly armies, most likely armies. That's going to be the easiest objective to accomplish, the one people tend to accomplish. City population of 24. The pyramids. The Great Lighthouse, spaces on the map, very difficult to accomplish. Especially if you're not playing to 10 crowns. The Temple of Artemis, power tax to 12, and the Mausoleum, a single captured city. That might be viable, we shall see. These two are the easiest to get, the Colossus and the Pyramids. Other than that, 3 points remain. It might just be wealth. So, a huge number of cities, a huge number of armies, and then just wealth. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I start out with plenty of knowledge. I obviously should invest that in river flag tax. I want to get as much food as humanly possible as early as possible. Also, to be able to get more flag tax, more of all sorts of things, I presumably ought to invest in knowledge yields as early as possible. I just have to decide on which I want to get. Let's start out with the river knowledge yield. We will be trading money for food initially. We will not be flagging the desert, that's almost useless, although you can get a decent bit out of the desert if you invest enough and if you flag enough of it. You can derive food out of the desert, although obviously not as much as you can out of river tiles. 15, let's add those numbers up. Fall and 3, that's a whopping total of 11. And this, I think the way to go is to flag all the river tiles, 4 of them, and to get as much food next turn as is possible. Some of my knowledge will go to waste unless I spend it right now, so I might potentially wish to invest in grassland flag tax. Could also consider plain flag tax. Let's get those. That way I'm not wasting anything. I'll get 13 knowledge next turn. Oh, which is acceptable, but perhaps I should trade a smidgen more for knowledge. That way I'll be able to get the second tier of both plain and grassland flag tax. That takes a bit of dedication, because that way I'm not getting as much food as I otherwise could, but I still think this is wise. Look at the expansion of all my competitors. A single free grassland flag, or 10 science per city. I don't think I want 10 science per city, because that would just be 10 science, which isn't that much, but any bit counts, any tiny bit counts, especially initially. So there's something to consider. I think the free grassland flag will be the way to go. There are plenty of grassland tiles I want to get. Might as well invest in those. I think this is the one I'll go for. The one over there to the east. Done. Might as well get those flag tags. And might as well continue to flag the rivers. Do I want to squeeze out the Elamites, or do I want to head north towards the horrifying bellicose Assyrians? Both options are perfectly viable. I presumably should head in both directions, if at all possible. I should also reach the mountains as soon as possible and get all the wealth. All the wealth over there. All the wealth that they yield. Those are, of course, technically hills, but I call them hills and mountains interchangeably. Let's see, 11, I'd be left with 4. That doesn't really offer me much. How about I get 2 6s and then get a single grassland tile over here. This will become significantly cheaper next turn. Let's invest everything in food. I have used up my opportunity. I flagged 4 things this turn. Things are going reasonably well. Set the family for a free plains flag. That could prove to be useful considering the fact that I have not invested in plain flag text at all. Not at all. And plains, of course, have nice food yields. They have 1 science, 1 food every single turn. Of course, as opposed to river tiles, which have 1 science and 2 food, by default at the very least. The alternative is to get 2 food per river tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 18 food in total right now. Unless I wait, flag more river tiles and go from there. It's a perfectly viable solution. I could also save up knowledge for next turn and get better yields off of, say, rivers. That sounds reasonably wise. I could save up all the way up to 30 and then get, say, more knowledge out of river tiles. I don't have any power in rivers. I haven't invested in that. I could do that as well. Or I could do that instead. And if I were to choose that, then I could possibly compete for these tiles against the Elamites. Let's get this river tile to not simply hand it over and silver prior to the Elamites. That river tile to the north, and with the single remaining bit of food, let's get the grassland flag right here. I could make it cheaper. Would that cost 0? That's an interesting proposition, but I'd rather save and get more knowledge every passing turn. I know that by doing so, I am allowing some of my knowledge to go to waste, but I guess that's acceptable. I'm also not redeeming my low opportunity coupon this turn. I want to get even more out of it. There are plenty of river tiles to flag. Pack animals. Place 3 flags on grasslands to get all grassland flag text. That's not worth it anymore. Or get a single sea flag. That's as many as I need. Ordinarily, this is not particularly valuable, but since I want this tile anyway, I might as well get it. Let's get better knowledge yields out of river tiles. That's 11 more every single turn. That's not insignificant. Ah, I see. When contested, I'm going to lose as far as this grassland tile is concerned, but I'm also going to lose this river tile because we have no power there. Neither of us has power there. But I would win this river tile should I choose to take it, because I border it with 2 hexes and the Elamites only with a single 1. Assuming they don't buy power in rivers anytime soon, this might just be the way to go. Let's see. I want to get as many river tiles as humanly possible this turn, so that's 12. I could go for this 5 over here. I could try to contest the Elamites. Fine, let's get the river tile here. And then, I guess, I'll go for the plains over here, making this plain tile cheaper. And of course, securing more food next turn. That's 3 more river tiles, which will translate into even more food out of irrigation. Once I get all that food next turn, I'll translate that into many flags dropped in that one single turn. presumably expanding towards the mountains, as much as I love the river tiles. Build a city at least 5 spaces away to grow that city. All place 3 flags on plains for all plain flag tags. That sounds moderately valuable. I would love to be able to flag the plains. But the holy city is also perfectly viable. I am building far, far away. And I would love to be able to fortify tiles far away with that city. So the holy city is within my reach, but I think getting all plain flag tags might just prove to be viable. I will not be able to flag that many plain tiles, or will I? Hold on. There are also plain tiles here, 3 of them right there, and quite a few to the southwest. Granted, growing a city immediately, making it one with 3 citizens rather than 2 is valuable. It's reasonably valuable, but so are these flag tags. Let's see, do I redeem my irrigation coupon right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 28 food right now. Let's do that. Do I want wealth out of all my river tiles? Wouldn't be half bad of an idea. Let's take that, and let's make flagging the grasslands cheaper. Oh dear, of course I have 2 tiers of this already. That makes the calculus significantly different. Do I actually want to back out of this decision? I could still go for the holy city. Yes, let's go for the holy city instead. Alright, I will go for the holy city. Wealth out of rivers. I will just buy the cheaper flagging of plains. Out of pocket. Redeem irrigation. And carry on flagging as if nothing happened. River tile here. These flags over there. I need to get to the mountains as quickly as possible. I'll not be able to get any mountain tiles or hill tiles if you prefer this particular turn, but I'll get there soon enough. This river tile and that river tile. Let's get all of this. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. That's so many flags plopped down in a single turn. That's an opportunity I could have completed were I to get it, and now I will no longer get an opportunity to complete that opportunity because I don't think I'll get such a huge burst of resources to be able to plant so many flags at the same time. A free hill flag, or place 3 flags on the desert to get all desert flag tags. That is reasonably valuable. Should I choose to flag the desert, which wouldn't be the worst of ideas. Yes, you get very little out of the desert. Yes, to be able to get any desert yields, you have to first invest in that using knowledge. But if you flag a significant enough chunk of the desert, which is difficult to flag, annoying, and people tend to stay away from it, you can get quite a bit just through the sheer number of tiles. And to make things even better, there are a couple of hill tiles over there. Should I just make my way towards them to the southwest instead of going east? An alternative is a single free hill flag, which is reasonably valuable. Let's go for water skins. Surprisingly enough, get a single hill flag down. I will invest in hill flag tags shortly. Might as well invest in more knowledge yields out of both plains and grasslands. Now, I shouldn't discount the possibility of flagging grassland tiles. However, I think it's not as much of a priority as getting... It's making it cheaper to flag the desert. Let's see now. There are quite a few other things I want to get. For instance, this river tile seems pretty precious, as does that one. They will not be contested either. There's also this plain tile I'm looking forward to acquiring. I'll start flagging the desert soon enough, don't you worry about that. Alright. Rugged Pioneer, a free forest flag. Sounds pretty useful. All nomadic tribes. Resources for 2 more flag tags, which I will proc the moment I get those flag tags of the water skins. Straight up resources or a free forest flag? I think straight up resources are worth more. Oh, this is still a river tile, surprisingly enough. You'd think this would actually be a mountain tile, but it isn't. It's still a river tile. Alright. As expensive as this is, let's start flagging the desert. There we go, water skins, which procs the nomadic tribes, giving me a bevy of resources. What about my knowledge yields? Well, knowledge yields. What about all my knowledge then? What do I want to spend it on? I could just get more food out of river tiles. This would be quite valuable, and this is the moment it will be the most valuable, because that's 19 each turn indefinitely. Let's get just that. Avoid waste and get a huge surge in food with every passing turn. This will allow me to easily bite into these mountains. A weird metaphor. I might just look into getting a city down there. How far away would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could place a city that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't put it down there. Not quite yet. Let's flag the river tile. And some hill tiles, expensive as they are. Let's make them a smidgen cheaper though. And as soon as I actually manage to put a city over there, it will be significantly easier to flag. Let's not get this one, the further away one, but the one closer to enemy borders to secure territory that way. And I might as well just get a city over there. It'll make flagging easier and defending that bit of territory easier. I also will have to look into getting an army soon enough. Own 3 cities on the Desert for Desert power tech. That's very questionable. I'll place 3 flags in a forest to get all forest flag tags. That's of limited utility, but fair enough. Let's take the bronze axis. Eventually this will come into play. I could build a city on a river to make it a smidgen cheaper, but I don't think that's the way. Let's fortify over here. That's the holy city. It has 3 citizens now, which is absolutely amazing. What sort of things do I want? Presumably cheaper flagging of hill tiles. There we go. I am still left with 50 units of science. Mountain yields sound pretty useful. Flagging grasslands, of course, is of some utility, but not as much as it used to be. Plain well fields. And hill well fields. That'll do for now. Also, to make it easier to contest those hill tiles, I might as well get power in hills. Alright, that's 7 hill tiles I am flagging this very turn. And next turn, even if I spend all of my wealth from the current turn on wealth, I will have enough to deploy an army, which is absolutely marvelous. What are my opportunities? Just the bronze axes. Now look at the Assyrians over there, expanding aggressively. They get contested, but they win. Stone cutting. 3 wealth per hill tile. Grow all your cities in 1 turn. To grow a city 1 point more. That sounds perfectly viable with the 2 cities I have and plenty of food I'm producing. Though I don't think that's worth as much as getting the actual wealth off of hills. I don't want to prop it quite yet because I believe I can get plenty more hill tiles under my control. Let's get more wealth out of hills. Or food out of hills for convenient flagging. Food out of hills and power in hills. And let's start contesting these tiles, otherwise they'll fall into enemy hands. We wouldn't want that, now would we? Alright, that's all the hill tiles I can possibly lay my hands on. No, it's not. So this one. So get those forests under my control. I have some power here, might as well flag it. And flag these two, completing the bronze axis opportunity. Makes flagging forests cheaper in the future. Do I want to deploy an army? And if so, who do I want to contest? Whose territory do I want to ingress into? Possibly the Assyrian one. Neither faction is particularly well fortified on the border with me. Let's avoid waste by deploying that army immediately, and let's deploy it over here. It's the closest to either of the borders. Arguably, I'd be closer to the Elamite border through here, but presumably I'll contest them over there in the mountains rather than here on the river tiles. We'll see. Do I really want to continue dumping everything into food? I could afford to do a number of other things. I could save up wealth. What are the hill tiles I acquire next turn? I might as well just redeem the stone cutting opportunity. Acquire even more wealth and say get additional armies or something like that. I obviously could invest in knowledge further. I could just go crazy and start flagging the desert. Next turn I'll have 92 knowledge. So I could try to get... I presumably should just get better hill yields as quickly as humanly possible. Plain yields would also be a priority, but I don't think I want to buy knowledge for wealth quite yet. That might of course be a mistake, we'll see. I get contested here, presumably I win because of the power I have in the region. I win even more heavily over there on the hill tile. Dairy farming! 2 food per grassland tile. How many grassland tiles do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not that many. But 10 food is nothing to sneer at. All a free desert flag. Not half bad. These can easily cost 10 or more. Let's get the desert flag. See, 10. Oh, 11 over here. Fine. Let's get the most expensive one since it's free. No matter how much it would cost otherwise. Of course, the Assyrians have fortified over there, but they're not fortified over here. So let's harass them, the tiniest of bits. And having moved that army, I may as well continue my flagging operation. Do I redeem stone cutting now, or do I wait even more? Because I most certainly could. I could also reduce the tremendous waste I am incurring. Or I could redeem stone cutting and get another army. Get all those yields. I really should look into reducing waste. Let's reduce, say, wealth waste. And food waste a bit. I'm just getting some wealth out of the desert. Sounds moderately fine. I'm not that keen on flagging these forest tiles. Although I do get food out of them. Fine. I ought to win, unless I get contested over here. We shall see. Let's see if I get contested in the desert as well. I have no power though. This is a Hail Mary attempt. I can get contested by the Elamites and the Assyrians in a variety of tiles, but they don't seem to be interested in flagging the forests nor the desert, which is reasonably wise. I have not redeemed stone cutting. I will redeem it this turn. Crop rotation. 2 food per plains. I have quite a few plain tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plain tiles. All double wealth yield. Very difficult to reduce wealth waste. It's not worth it. Crop rotation, stone cutting. Look at all those resources flowing in. Should start plopping down more cities, I guess. And of course, putting down more armies as well. I should also focus on victory conditions. Just blindly expanding and desperately trying to conquer is not the way to go. More food out of my plains, please. And some wealth out of my forest. Oh, could look into knowledge out of the desert. Let's get wealth and knowledge out of forests first. Right, now that that's dealt with, what do? Do I get another army? Wouldn't be half bad of an idea. Yes, there's no Elamite army over here defending the mountains. Or the hills if you prefer. Might as well put my troops right here and contest the tiniest of bits. I have more power in the hills, so let's get that hill tile. Same goes for this one. And since I can, I might as well flag the grasslands here. They might end up getting contested. I guess I don't care. Let's expand further into the desert. I will soon enough reach the Canaanite border. I could hypothetically further reduce waste. I could also invest in power the tiniest of bits. I could get all the way up to 6 should I choose to. How much power do the Elamites have here? Ah yes, that's the defensive bonus on hills. +2. They're difficult to conquer by their very nature. And then they have 1 from attack, so that's 3 that I have to overcome. How about if I buff power all the way to 4? Each unit should be able then to overwhelm the defenses. Let's see how that plays out. Oh, look, the Assyrians are threatening from the north. That's annoying. And so am I. I'm threatening from the north. Except I'm threatening the Elamites from the north. Conquer our river space, they say. Look at resources. I'll build a city on a forest for a forest yield tech. I don't think I need that. Trading settlement it is. I'll have to unpump my power momentarily. And deploy forces to be able to defend in this area. Try to defend from the Assyrians. I'll lose this river tile, almost inevitably. But at least I'll defend the remaining ones. And I should be able to conquer this bit of Elamite territory. If I refuse to relent, if I refuse to back away, to desperately try and defend. I also might look into getting better yields out of the desert that I'm expanding quite aggressively into. I will also get some defensive bonuses via power techs. Doesn't sound half bad. I think yields are more important. Desert yields it is. But fine, power and rivers, it also is. With all the knowledge I have, there's basically no excuse not to do this. Even if these get contested, I am somehow, somewhat fine with that. That's quite a lot of land, including plenty of desert tiles. The Elamites can't quite defend everywhere, that's what I'm relying on. Let's see how the situation develops, let's see how this plays out. I know I'm going to lose this tile inevitably, what about the remaining 3 ones? Are the Assyrians strong enough? How much power do they have? 4. So I defend over here, just lose this 1 tile, and I conquer the Elamite territory. Map making. Full knowledge for each sea tile. I only have 2, and I won't have that many more. I'll spend 25 or more on an army move to get 1 power for 1 turn. It's not happening anytime soon. Oh dear. Movement across hill tiles ought to be cheaper, but unfortunately I get no bonuses for that, not quite yet. Do I want yields or power? I could get food out of the desert, ludicrously enough. That'll be quite a bit. Or I could get a whopping total of 18 if I invest in grassland and forest food simultaneously. Let's get that instead of investing in the desert yields. I would love to look into additional power in the mountains, but I'll come later. I might want to save up for that. I could deploy a national army instead of pumping power like crazy. I could also reduce power waste, which is absolutely precious, and you don't get that opportunity all that often. It's usually when there's a lull in the action. I know a 3rd army sounds tempting, but let's not do that. Let's instead reduce some of the power waste and maintain power at 5, I guess. How are we doing? I see, the Elamites have 5 from a unit, a whopping total of 8. So at 5 I should be able to overwhelm them. Let's pump power only partially. Partially pumping power. Let's not flag sea tiles on purpose. I could and presumably ought to build some more cities, but I'm not sure where. Possibly here? Somewhere out in the desert to make flagging cheaper and to fortify? Why not? Look at how much cheaper flags have become in the area. Marvelous. Will I actually get this? Yes, I will. And also defender. I also continue to threaten. Migration, place 10 flags in 1 turn. That's going to be mighty expensive, but it's not impossible with all the food I have. All goldsmith. Spend some gold to keep getting gold. Let's see, do I want to attack or do I want to defend? I'll have to do both, I'm afraid. Pumping power, unfortunately. I am attacked in non-hill tiles, which of course is somewhat disheartening. But I can't get power techs everywhere, especially since power techs are so expensive for me. I could get more food out of the desert, but I think what I need are power techs. I could also get more food out of grasslands. Let's get more power in rivers to keep defending those river tiles. Well, absolutely precious. Further down the line, I could get some more power in hills. But since I still can, let's get more food out of grasslands. I'm putting all the wealth into power this turn, as much as I hate doing so. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's grow a city before I grow a city yet again. Do I want to fortify? Well, could I fortify? I have one city here, one city there, and another city here. I presumably should fortify somewhere around here. Or I could just keep growing this city, my capital, essentially. I think a city over here wouldn't be half bad. So let's build that for defensive purposes. Get a single additional desert tile flagged. And grow this city by 1. It's size 3 now, provides me with a decent bit of defense, allows me to stabilize over here. I can get more desert tiles flagged. Fine, fine. Might as well get on with that. Oh no, they've swooped in. Put more power behind their attack, but I still managed to defend. I managed to defend here, and I managed to attack there. Because of all the power, I conquer. This very turn. Fruit orchard, spend food, keep getting food, all reduce knowledge waste to minus 10%. To be able to trade more effectively for knowledge. Do I want knowledge? Or further down the line you might want some knowledge. Or do I want the fruit orchard that much? Do I want all the food? I don't think I want all the food that desperately. I think reducing knowledge waste might be the way to go. Quite frankly, reducing power waste at this stage might not be the worst of ideas. I have this little opportunity. Granted, I ought to defend, but I can do so with all my armies. Let's reduce knowledge waste, not get a national army this particular turn. I could reduce it fully, but I might just get the barracks opportunity. That I also love. Epic March, which gives me more power this particular turn. Let's move an army here to bolster this single tile. Grow this city for defensive purposes. And I can still afford to flag some desert tiles. Nice. The time has come to get desert yields. 26 more food every single turn. Just for those silly desert tiles. I will also have to start investing in... let's see. Presumably river and mountain power tax more heavily. I think it's better to focus than not to. Do I actually pump power to 8? Is that something I want? No. Let's save up wealth. And save up the last tier of reduction over here. It might just prove to be useful, we shall see. Reduction and knowledge waste would also be quite handy. Let's spend a bit on that. After all, oh look, they move away in order to deal with the Hittites, and I both defend here and get territory there. That gives me trade settlement because I've conquered a river tile, which outright grants me resources. Do I want 3 wealth out of each and every single desert tile I own, or do I want all sea flag tax? Which do you think I want? As far as desert tiles are concerned, I own a whopping 29 of them, more than any kind of tile. 29. So we're getting 3 wealth out of every single one. That's 87. 87 wealth just for that. Well, you know, I could choose to hypothetically flag even more, but I think salt mining is something I want to redeem right now, which brings me up to a whopping, I do mean whopping 374 wealth this very turn. I can afford to do quite a number of things, should I choose to. Let's see, do I want to destroy the Assyrians or the Elamites? I could also go for the poor underdogs, the Canaanites, but I think that would just be cruel. I don't want to just gang up on the underdog over there. Let's recruit an initial army. Put it over here, put this one right there. Reduce knowledge waste to make trading for knowledge more efficient. What else do I want to do? Do I seriously want to hope and pray that I get the barracks? No, let's just pump power this turn. To ensure that I conquer what I possibly can. Let's also expand as far as I can with all the food that I have. I could hypothetically just grow all of my cities, wouldn't be half bad. But all those desert tiles bring me quite appetizing yields. Oh dear. I am left with quite a bit. So I could start flagging the sea over there, but that really doesn't seem worth it. So let's instead grow what I can. Let's grow this city to size 4. And I guess that's about it, unless I actually want to flag the sea. Oh, by the way, I can get more wealth out of every single citizen. Well, here comes the crazy spiral. I could also get more science out of each and every one of my citizens. 112, let's see, can I get both of them at once? No, I don't think I can. I think getting more wealth is worth more at this particular point in time. And might as well trade for some knowledge, after all I made that more efficient. Let's not spend any more knowledge this turn. I'll get even more wealth per every single citizen every single turn. After which point I'll spend all the food on growing my cities, you know, the usual. I almost have the Great Lighthouse, even though that basically never happens. If I flag these little sea tiles, I will actually get those victory points. I'll secure them right off the bat. Capturing one city would also be nice, but I think the most realistic option is to just accumulate wealth. Possibly get those, obviously, get those armies and fleets. Let's see, so all of these three are within my grasp. Spaces on the map, almost guaranteed right now. So I could go for, say, spaces, armies and fleets, and then just save up the wealth. That's the most realistic way to win. So I just need to recruit 2 more armies, or possibly fleets. Let's not count them out as options. Get those few additional tiles, save up wealth, win. I presumably ought to focus on that. I need to keep that in mind. It's all so tempting to just keep expanding my territory and try to conquer. But if I can win, I presumably ought to win. We are even though, so I don't actually win the Assyrian tile. I don't get it. I don't conquer the territory over there, but it's okay. Own 3 cities on first power tech, pointless. Although it arguably advances your progress as far as getting more power techs is concerned. So if you're going for that, you may want to consider burning pitch. All sea yields text to have movement cast across the sea. That seems fairly useless, considering the map we're on. We're not going to sail across the sea. But why not, I guess. More wealth out of each and every single citizen, please. And let's get more armies. Unpumping power, because I absolutely don't need that much now, do I? They have 5 here, and with 3 power, plus how much power do I have in mountains? 2 from techs. So that'll be just 2 plus 6. I should still be able to contest. We shall ultimately see. As I have already mentioned, I don't have to conquer territory. That's not my victory condition. Let's grow this city to size 5, so I get even more resources every passing turn. I already have 2 points for spaces on the map. I just need 1 more army. I'll get the Colossus after that point. Yes, after that point I could just get the wealth and win. Let's do just that. I will conquer on the side, I'll try to defend my territory, but that's just to pass time. Oh look, the Assyrians have moved over here. What will that accomplish? I have conquered 2 tiles, and I need to defend against the Assyrian aggression. Reduce wealth waste to minus 3% to no longer waste wealth. All archers are temporary thing I could hypothetically enjoy, but no. Let's not waste wealth, thus making the victory condition of accumulating wealth even firmer within my grasp. I could also just reduce all power waste, but I think it's smarter to... I could just get a fleet over here. Fleets are cheaper and work just as well. This is exactly the tile to deploy on. Let's do just that. Let's get a cheap fleet. That way I get additional victory points, as if I got an army. And since this is the location I want to defend anyway, there are basically no downsides to having it deployed there. Let's also move my units to bolster the defenses. And let's attack from this angle. Mess with the Elamites some more. Might as well pump power a bit for good measures. Sure, I do want to save up enough wealth, but let's not lose territory over that. Not quite yet. After all, I'm not contested by any of the factions whatsoever. Let's acquire more knowledge with every passing turn. And get more power in rivers to make defense even easier in this bit of territory. At least in this bit of territory. I could also fortify over here with a neat little city. Might as well upgrade this one. Are there any other cities? Anywhere I can see? A city over here. No cities here although. That's surprising. I could still build one. There's nothing stopping me. Should I choose to. I could build a city right there. Why not? No downsides. I could also flag these little desert tiles. I could also ingress into Kanaite territory, push them out, get these hill tiles, get even more income, but no. The Elamites move in to defend, and they largely manage to. I lose one tile to the belligerent and the bellicose Assyrians. Reduce power waste to minus 50%. Each power costs one less. The barracks, my beloved barracks. There we go, now we're talking. Let's do this. The barracks have been procced. That reduces power waste. And I can unpump my power, hypothetically. Well, you know, I can stabilize at some point, say at 6 power, and still get all the wealth I need to win a turn after this one. Is there anything I want in particular? Perhaps more power in rivers? Is there any point? Fine, more power in rivers it is. Saving up the wealth and, of course, growing my cities. Oh, a shame. If I had 3 more units of food, I'd be able to grow this city as well. Fine, let's just flag this little desert and get those sea tiles. Eventually I might want to look into some sea yields. Why not? The Assyrians got 2 victory points, presumably for what? For the city side. I kicked him out of here, I threatened there, and I ought to defend against the Elamite threat. Slows to plowshares, it's basically never worth it. All own 3 cities on grassland. It basically never comes to that. Why do you have victory points? City population. The most common reason for people to get points is city population and army size. Mostly it's the army size first, city population second. Alright, I want to have 600 by next turn, so I can push my power to a mere 8 points. And I can still win. But of course, since I want to defend, I might as well grow this city. For more of a defensive bonus. Which of course brings me to the city population victory condition. Of course, now I have 6 crowns, 6 victory points. I could also get a few more power attacks, I guess. I just need 5 more to win. That might prove to be prohibitively expensive though. City power, 2nd point of city power, a 3rd point of city power. Now I just need 2 more power attacks to win. So although I am going to win via wealth anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I end the turn, I get the wealth, and do I have to end the turn with the wealth, or do I have to earn the wealth and win like that? Without losing any of the other points. No, I just have to earn the wealth like this. I get the wealth at the end of the turn, and I win based on that.
Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair.
Victory as the Babylonians has been achieved with significantly more victory points than necessary, a whopping total of 9. I got the Hanging Gardens, so 600 wealth, the Colossus for 7 armies and fleets, the Pyramids for 24 city population, the Great Lighthouse for 125 spaces on the map. I was also close to getting Power Tech, so I would have gotten the 10th victory point, the Temple of Artemis. I almost said Temple of Anubis. Wrong game. But, of course, that would have required me to get to another turn or to invest in that earlier on. In second place, not even close to my accomplishments, were the Assyrians, with 2 points for 24 city population, all more. And tied for third place were the Elamites, the Hittites, and the Canaanites, with no victory points to their names, or to the names of the civilizations. This is the graph, and I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching, and you will see me elsewhere.